The drone strikes, targeting the Armenian and Nagorno-Karabakh soldiers and destroying tanks, artillery, and air defenses, provided a huge advantage for the Azerbaijani soldiers in the 44-day war and offered the clearest evidence yet of how the battlefields are being transformed by unmanned attack drones rolling off the assembly lines around the world. The relatively low-cost drones can offer countries air power at a fraction of cost of maintaining a traditional air force. The situation in Nagorno-Karabakh also underscored how drones can suddenly shift a long-standing conflict and leave ground forces highly exposed. Armenia accepted a ceasefire on punishing terms to possibly end the long-lasting round of fighting over Nagorno-Karabakh. Drones offer small countries very cheap access to tactical aviation and precision-guided weapons, enabling them to destroy an opponent's much costlier equipment such as tanks and air defenses. An air force is a very expensive thing, and drones permit the utility of air power to smaller and much poorer nations. In Azerbaijan, the videos of drone strikes have been posted daily on the website of the country's defense ministry, broadcasting on big screens in the capital Baku. Thousands and thousands of protesters gathered in the Armenian capital as the pressure grew for the prime minister to step down and allow Azerbaijan to regain the territory it lost in Nagorno-Karabakh war of the early 1990s. The deal came just after Azerbaijan took the strategic city of Shusha, a town of cultural importance to the Azerbaijanis that is situated above the Nagorno-Karabakh capital. In a matter of months, however, Nagorno-Karabakh has become perhaps the most powerful example of how small and relatively inexpensive attack drones can change the dimensions of the conflict once dominated by the ground battles and traditional air power. It also highlighted the weaknesses of even sophisticated weapon systems such as tanks, radars, and surface-to-air missiles, and it has raised a debate on whether the era of traditional tanks could be coming to an end. The Azerbaijanis use their drone fleet purchased from Israel and Turkey to watch and destroy Armenia's weapons system in Nagorno-Karabakh, shattering its defenses and enabling swift advances. Armenia found that air defense systems in Nagorno-Karabakh, many of them older Soviet systems, were impossible to defend against. Drone attacks and losses quickly piled up. Military equipment such as tanks and armored vehicles might not become obsolete, but the Nagorno-Karabakh has shown the ever-increasing importance of using armed drones along with other weapons and highly trained ground forces, and the more devastating consequences of failing to do so in future wars. Clearly, the decisive factor in this conflict is Turkey's intervention on the Azerbaijan's side. Possibly around one-third of the Armenian tanks had been destroyed. This obviously became a critical factor in taking all those Nagorno-Karabakh territories. Unable to match Azerbaijan's drone power, Armenian forces, demoralized and outperformed, suffered a series of military defeats. Officials from Armenia and Nagorno-Karabakh said they had no choice but to sign truce to avoid further losses of life and territory. In the early stages of war, Azerbaijan used 11 slow Soviet-era An-12 aircrafts that had been converted into drones and sent them buzzing over Nagorno-Karabakh as a bait to the Armenian air defense systems, tempting them to fire and reveal their positions, after which they could be hit by drones. The Azerbaijan used surveillance drones to spot the Armenian targets and sent the armed drones as well as the kamikaze drones to destroy those Armenian targets. Azerbaijan probably benefited from Turkey's experience of its recent use of drones in Syria as well as Libya, where its drones destroyed many Russian-made Pantsir S-1 air defense systems used by the forces of the general Khalifa Haftar. Azerbaijanis published a list of destroyed military hardware, including photographic or video evidence of each tank and weapon system. Their tally, which logs confirmed losses with photographs or videos, listed the Armenian losses at 185 T-72 tanks, 90 armored fighting vehicles, 182 artillery pieces, 73 multiple rocket launchers, 26 surface-to-air missile systems that include Thor system as well as 5 S-300 systems, 14 radars or jammers, 1 Su-25 warplane, 4 drones, as well as 451 military vehicles. Azerbaijan had visually confirmed losses of 22 tanks, 41 armored forced vehicles, 1 helicopter, 25 drones, and 24 vehicles. Armenian losses appeared significantly higher than those of the Azerbaijans. At the end, I would like to include that the kamikaze drones will probably become more prevalent as technology improves and costs go down.